I know we do have a lot of people that have hair loss and are curious what are the best options for them. How would you say is the best way to navigate that with hair restoration versus full transplant?
Hair is one of those topics that's very broad. Hair loss is almost always what we call multifactorial. It's due to multiple things, each one of them contributing in a negative way. And so you really need to vote the kitchen sink at hair. Then you can start backing down to see what might have been what was working. But at the end of the day, you've got to have proper hormone levels, blood flow. We can use platelet-rich plasma to stimulate new blood vessel growth in the scalp to help awaken the hair follicles. There are peptides like copper peptide that are wonderful in that. Of course, hormone optimization is key. We do see an increase in growth hormone helping hair. In fact, one of our patients is a 93-year-old female, and the people at her assisted living facility wonder how her hair is staying brown because they don't ever see a hairdresser go into a room. But she had white hair, and now her hair is brown. Yeah,
Hormones.
yeah, hormones and enhancing her growth hormone.
And then it sounds like cognitive decline is also kind of peppered in with hormones.
Cognitive decline is big time. I mean, Alzheimer's has, I'd never want to tell people that just by optimizing their hormones, I'm going to get rid of grandma or grandpa's Alzheimer's. But the studies do show that men and women with better hormone levels have far less instances of Alzheimer's disease. Yeah, far less.
Good to know. And I've heard maybe is bone density, is that testosterone or estrogen?
That's estrogen.
Okay.
Yeah, bone density, estrogen is responsible for bone density. And think about it. When a woman turns 50 and she's now going into menopause, she doesn't change her eating habits. Why does her doctor tell her to eat more calcium? She hasn't stopped eating calcium or absorbing it, but her estrogen levels are now at zero. And estrogen is what's responsible for bone mineralization. A woman who breaks her hip ends up going to the hospital, oftentimes gets pneumonia. The risk of death following a hip fracture in a female after 2 years is higher than the risk of death after breast cancer 10 years ago. That's a big deal. Yeah. So, and then the other big thing that estrogen does for women, cardiac disease. The number one killer in women in the United States is not breast cancer, it is cardiac disease. But women don't have heart attacks before menopause. After menopause, her risk of a heart attack becomes identical to a man her age. That's big.
Yeah.
From barely any heart attack risk to now it's the same as a man her age. What happened? She started losing estrogen. That's the biggie. Osteoporosis and myocardial infarctions can be not prevented all the way, can be dramatically improved by the addition of estrogen.
Great. And I know a lot of times people are talking about what are the longevity secrets out there, and all the different gurus have their thoughts on that. But I'm curious if you've got a thought on that or a pumpkin on
Yeah.
that.
The first thing is you got to have good habits. When I give talks on this subject, one of the slides is a top hat and a magic wand and a big red X through it, and I'm like, no, we're not magic wands here. You got to do your stuff. You got to eat well. You got to get your exercise. You got to sleep properly. But then let's start adding in the basics. Human hormones, bioidentical human hormones. I like to say we age because our hormone levels go down. Our hormone levels don't go down because we age. We age because our hormone levels go down. I can remember when I was in medical school, a young woman, she was in her mid-30s, had a total hysterectomy. That's when we removed the uterus and both ovaries. When she went to sleep before surgery, she felt like she was in her 30s. When she woke up a couple hours later, she felt like she was 70 years old. I saw it.
Wow,
I saw it. Yeah, that fast. So lack of hormones is a big thing when it comes to aging.
And for someone like that, would they take like pellets or bioidentical?
Bioidenticals can come in creams, patches, implants, or what people like to say pellets. Yes. Okay. And here's something that's interesting. This is the most natural treatment that you can ever do. The lab, if she had a lab sample sent for measuring estrogen, testosterone, progesterone before her hysterectomy, and then after her total hysterectomy came to see us, and we used bioidentical hormones, the lab cannot tell those two specimens apart. They're not similar, they're exactly the same thing.